Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Bank of the West is offering the 1% for the Planet checking account. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. There's no monthly service charge with any deposit per statement, and there's no minimum balance required. The 1% for the Planet checking account, only from Bank of the West. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
The Bachelorette
and Friends.
From first love to happy ever after.
What's that?
From dating to dick pics.
Oh my. Oh no!
The Bachelorette and Friends. Oh, I love a good dick.
This podcast contains sexual references, coarse language, and adult themes from the beginning and throughout. It is not recommended for listeners under the age of 15.
Hello and welcome to the Bachelorette and Friends. I'm your host, Carla Anita Matiazzo. And today's guest is 1/3 of the show PBAFM, a washed-up burlesque dancer and podcaster. Welcome to the podcast, Nona Mona.
G'day, cunts. I'm sorry, it's going to be like this. Sorry.
Perfection. That was perfection. Perfection. Let's start with telling the listener how we know each other.
Yes, and you had to refresh me because I've got a bit of fuzz today.
That's okay. Periods are the worst.
Yeah. Now, we met through a mutual friend called Erin.
Erin Fowler.
Oh, good, because I always think of her as Cher. It's just like, Erin. I was like, what's her last name?
Just her name, Erin. Yes. And Erin's been on the podcast too.
Ooh. I know you're listening, Erin.
You're so listening to every single episode. I know you are. Yeah, so we were on her podcast about fertility.
Yeah, we were.
Has that come out yet?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
Erin.
What's going on? Where's this podcast? Anyway, and we connected, I think,
Yeah, we did.
I think we connected with the fact that we're both at the same age.
Yeah.
And we're both at the stage where we're like, what the fuck?
I feel like we're both at the phase in our life that we never thought we would be at this time.
Do you know what? I think you're spot on with what you've just said.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Didn't think that was something I was going to have to worry about.
No. And I think it's happening more often than not, really. Especially, and I'm saying especially here because this is my worldview and experience may be limited here with what I'm about to say, but it seems to be a lot of artists and creatives and entertainers that seem to be in this predicament of...
Like, I don't know how to say this, but maybe it's like careers without maternity leave.
And
all of everything that comes with like a 9 to 5.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, all the benefits and whatnot.
Yeah. I think you're right about that,
To some extent. Obviously not all.
Not all, but I think you have hit the nail on the head there. I'm still having days where I'm very much like, I see a baby and I want to cry. Just like, really? That motherfucker's had a baby? Really? And I'm sitting over here with like, hello, I would love to do that.
So mine goes through waves. So I get like the cry phase, the whole like, my body wants sperm around, you know, ovulation, post-ovulation towards the period. But then like after the period, I feel like on top of the world. I'm like, look at me, snazzy, fucking walking around, you know. Like, oh, what's that? I can eat cereal at 11 p.m. at night. Cool.
No responsibility.
Yeah. Ow! And then... the egg drops and I'm like, I'm going to be alone forever.
Yeah, it's fucking shit, isn't it? It's shit. And I tend to think, and again, this is going to polarize, but I don't give a fuck. I tend to think that really we need to get on board with period leave. Like, I know you and I essentially, the way our careers are, you know, we have to implement that in our own businesses, essentially. But it would be nice because your brain does go on a bit of a hiatus.
And physically, if I'm not medicated, I sound like during, you know, day 1 and day 2, I am going to shit and vomit on your floor.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. I used to pass out as a teenager. It'd be throwing up, intense pain, and I'd pass out.
Yeah. I've sat in a bath thinking I was going to die, and I was like, great, they're going to find me in the bath naked with like
blood everywhere. Yeah. And it wasn't a murder. Yeah.
Didn't even go out with a fucking bang. Tell you what.
Yeah, it's horrendous, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
And I think the fact that we are so built in Western society to be on all the time and to fall in these restrictions of the 9 to 5 masculine-driven society, because... Yeah, okay, I understand men have hormones. I'm not discounting the fact that you guys have hormones. Of course you do.
For sure.
But, you know, generally once a month, if your body is working, we've got like a truck that comes to visit us every fucking month. That like just, oh my God. Oh my God. So, listener, you can hear how Nona and I just...
That's how we connected, guys.
Periods, eggs, and fertility.
We have a friend called Truck.
Fucking Truck.
Do you remember when people used to make friends on the playground? They're like, I like that. I like your T-shirt. Oh my God, same. I like your shoes. Let's be friends. And now we're like, and then you fucking shit yourself.
And we are friends forever. Yes. Through our menstrual cycles. Yeah, that's it. I feel like the narrative is changing though, and the general population is more open to having this discussion. But I saw on... I think it was Facebook, and Facebook's the worst for trolls and awful comments. I feel it's worse on there.
Social media is insane.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. but you know,
that needs its own podcast, honestly. Like,
yes,
how
it does.
fucking toxic that fucking social media
It
is.
is. Spot on. There was somebody who, look, I'm going to be very vague here because I can't remember the specifics of it, but there was a post about a charity connected to periods and giving period products to women and girls that are less privileged or in lower socioeconomic. And the comments that were under there, majority of them by men were disgusting. And I was like, really? We're still here? We're still here with guys saying comments like, oh, try and get kicked in the nuts. I'm like, really? We're really there, are we?
¿Por qué no los dos?
Yeah, like what? What are you saying, motherfucker? Like, really, we're still there.
We can do both. It's cool. You know?
Yeah. Give me your balls, kick me, and we'll have our period too. Do you want us to have all of it? Sure, we'll do all of it.
It's a grey area, mate.
Yeah. Isn't it?
Look, I just think it's... we've just gone almost... I always fuck this up. Is it a 180 or a 360?
It's okay, I do too. It's fine. Maths is not my strength either. It's all good.
An angle. But, you know, so the whole concept of stay at home, have the babies, all of that was all well and good if you're being supported.
Correct.
And now that's really difficult for families to do that, do want to do that. So they also don't benefit from anything. You know, you get mums that... And it's okay that if you want to be a stay-at-home parent, that's fucking awesome.
If you can afford it.
If you can, that's the issue. Like, yeah.
Like, marry someone like Kevin Hart and then you can be a stay-at-home mum.
Why Kevin Hart? That's so specific.
Well, because... That's the best thing.
That was the most specific thing I've ever heard.
Because he's got, like, this empire. Like, yeah. So he can afford to have 4 kids and a stay-at-home wife and all that stuff. And look, I just like him. I don't know. That's why
I'm just curious.
To my mind. I follow him on Instagram. I don't know. You know?
Oh, Kevin. Stop finger banging yourself under the
You caught me. You caught me. It's all in the name. It's the name that gets me. Is it? Maybe. Who knows? So speaking of periods, how has that... Because I've had very drastic experiences in relationships in the ways in which boys...
Deal
have
with it.
responded. Yes. So I'm saying boys for a reason because men aren't fuckwits about it. Boys can be fuckwits about it. What has been your experience?
Pretty good, to be fair.
Okay, that's
Have you
nice.
ever had a dude do the scoop when you can't?
The face I just
I
made.
know.
I saw your face.
You were like,
what are
oh.
you talking about?
Oh, we're going there.
Okay, so I have had when I broke my back. So when I was from about 17 to 23.
That really escalated.
Yeah, it went from like 0 to 5,000 real quickly. When I broke my back, when I was living in Melbourne with my ex, he had to help with changing of stuff because I literally could not. So
That's
the menstrual cup didn't exist then.
Ah.
Yeah. This
Yeah,
was way
yeah,
back
yeah,
in
yeah.
2009, 8, around there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So mine's less drastic. Mine's more the old, like, I think I just got drunk and couldn't find it.
Oh, honey.
And I was like, is it in there? I don't know. Do it. Help. If it was a condom, you'd do it.
Did you say that? I really hope you said that. I really hope in the moment you said that.
Anyway, it was done without, there was a hesitation. There was like,
there? Yeah.
all right, we're doing this.
Oh, yeah. It's all part of being a human. Like, if you love the person, something like that may happen if you're in a loving relationship. Really, realistically, if you're in a heterosexual relationship or if you're in a lesbian...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you got to get involved. Get in there,
I've had
dig it out.
pretty good experiences. I haven't had
that's
any kind of
nice.
super douchey, you stay on that side of the house for that week. And, nothing like
That's
that.
good. That's good.
Yeah. I've enjoyed, sometimes if they're going to the shops, you like send them on a mission.
Yes.
Like, this is what I need. Can you send me a photo? Can you?
Sure.
Then there's been like the photo as well as asking a woman there. It just must be the weirdest territory for them. Like this aisle just full of colourful boxes.
Yeah. What do I get? Fuck. And I like how Woolworths has changed it to period care instead of sanitary items because
That's so observant, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Because obviously the connotation underlying, like messages of sanitary items is like, well, when you're bleeding, you're fucking dirty. So you need to have some sanitary items to fix that situation up. So I'm glad that Woolworths has come on board with something like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's
Didn't
caring.
even notice.
I only know because I love Ash London and she's been talking about it. I was
Right.
Great. Excellent.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think
really
that's
cool.
really good. I think that's really good.
So what experiences have you had with...
So I dated a guy.
A guy walks into a bar.
And he brought many challenges to my life because he wasn't really that present in his own life, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, okay.
If you know what I mean.
That old chestnut.
that one. And he had 2 teenage boys. And like we were speaking about before...
His name's not Matthew, is it?
Nah,
No,
fucking
okay.
not, nah. It's a generic name like that, yeah. But it wasn't Matthew. And I remember one day, because we dated on and off for a little bit because it was quite destructive. And one day I had my period and I was not coping.
Yeah.
And his sons, I had a great relationship with when we were together, the eldest one was like, what's wrong? I'm like, oh, I've got really bad period pain. Literally This dude
no.
took me aside and gave me a fucking lecture about how his sons don't need to hear about that. That's not something I should be talking about.
What?
And how dare I didn't check that with him before I said it.
That dude, does he know what goes on in the world? What he's sending his kids out into?
Yeah. I'm like, actually, young men do need to know about this stuff, especially because both of them were heterosexual. They're going to have relationships with women.
What? I've never heard of this.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fascinating. Like, it's kind of fascinating. I've honestly never even thought that would have been a thing.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
And because I didn't have any self-worth or self-respect, which I've spoken about before on episodes, I allowed that kind of controlling behaviour to happen. If I was me now, I'd be like, oh, fuck off. That's ridiculous. Leave me the fuck alone. That's so dumb.
Love it.
Because, you know, I read somewhere that when you are menstruating, that's when your boundaries or buffering or whatever, or walls of tolerating bullshit that you'd usually tolerate go away. And you're just speaking from a very different part of your brain.
Yeah, okay.
I'm paraphrasing that and I just butchered the shit out of that. But I remember that's the gist of what it said.
Well, you can kind of see it in some behaviours, can't you? When you're just like, today I'm eating nachos, possibly on a pizza base. Fuck you. Get out, because that's what I'm eating today.
Leave me alone. Oh, the joys. And I'm sure, look, when it comes to relationships, obviously that relationship wasn't right for me.
No.
Because he was, it wasn't, look, we were dating.
Yeah, okay.
We were dating.
So it was like here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's a very interesting term that you use, because I feel like being from the same generation, Australia kind of turned into, I call it the American dating model.
Oh, yes. Talk about that, yes.
So growing up, it was, will you go out with me? Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah, on a piece of paper. Did you get them? Yeah. You had to tick which
Do
bit.
you like me? Yes, no,
maybe.
We grew up with American TV shows that were like, I'm seeing this guy. And then I feel like that's what we kind of turned into. But you can see multiple people but not be committed to it. So it all got a bit confusing for me as I got old.
Because you're so old. Yeah, you're so ancient.
It's over for me.
We're done.
Don't pray for me. I'm already dead.
We don't want your prayers. No prayers, thank you. Don't send them this way. Yeah, it's interesting. You are spot on with that, because I think there is a lot of confusion in our generation of how to conduct ourselves during the courting phases.
Yeah, there's like all sorts of different boundaries now, and, everyone's kind of learning and finding their way. But how would you have you seen more than one person at a time? Officially,
my Catholic guilt wouldn't let me.
Oh, the Catholic guilt. Wow, you went there.
Yeah. So I was brought up like Italian, French, Croatian. I was brought up as the Catholic.
Fucked.
Yeah, I'm fucked. Yeah. So even though I've been through a journey through my... I've been through a ride with my religion from about 23 to 30. I really started to step away from Catholicism and move towards more of being agnostic and...
Yeah, I think that's quite a natural thing to do at that age, to be honest. Where you're just like, I'm not ready to fully let go of my values, but...
Well, it's interesting. I used to be the type of Catholic, Nona, that would be schooling my 70-something-year-old Nona for walking out of the church before the priest had walked past us down the aisle.
You were like proper. are.
Oh, fuck yeah. I was right in there. I was a Eucharistic minister at high school. Like, yeah, I was one of those.
This is brilliant.
Yeah, I was one of those.
Wow. So you've come a long way.
Oh, fuck yeah.
When did you suddenly open up your mind and go like, these traditions don't sit well with me, but these do, and then, do you know what I mean?
So I think it's really interesting, and you know this too, with the Italian culture, it's very much ingrained in our culture. I think, so my uncle married someone quite a lot younger and they had kids when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
And I remember, so this is my mum's youngest brother, and we were at his eldest daughter's communion, christening, whatever it is. And I remember sitting there and listening to the priest's words throughout, and I was like, this doesn't sit well with me. How does this baby have sin? I don't understand.
The devil and all of that. So it's quite confronting.
Understand. That's when I started to go, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. And then in 2000, so the nail in the coffin for me was in 2016 when my mum fucked off. So she disowned my brother and I in writing, and then we lost all that side of the family too because, you know, many different reasons. Anywho, and because I was going through an identity crisis through that evacuation of my family, and I was the type of Italian that would go visit all my uncles and aunties and cousins and stuff like that on the weekend. So I had gone from 40-something people that I'd see all the time to a very spacious life with not heaps of people in it anymore.
Yeah, wow.
So I was going through a myriad of changes internally, which has been fantastic and I'm very grateful for, because I wouldn't be who I am now if that stuff didn't happen, that old cliche.
Yeah. But it is true. It's a thing.
And I remember when I was teaching at this high school that I went to as a student. And
brilliant.
Yeah, which is, don't ever do it.
That's the most Italian thing I've ever heard.
Oh, mate. And when the teachers that were there when you were there as a student, it's really hard to break the mold of that person that I was as a teenager is no longer that person. Like, I'm not that person.
There'd still be this power difference.
Yeah. And they were still seeing me under a particular lens. So I knew that was evident when we had a staff meeting that was a mass in our chapel. And because I was the Eucharistic minister in high school, I was always up there being involved in the liturgies and all that kind of stuff. One of the teachers, beautiful woman, like, she didn't do the wrong thing at all. It just made the assumption that I'd be okay to read some prayers. And I thought I'd be fine. Right? I'm just reading some prayers. I got up there, and as I was reading these prayers, I'm going, I'm feeling ill. I'm feeling angry inside my body, and I want to run out of here.
Wow.
And sitting
what a physical
in that
response.
Yeah, sitting in that chapel, listening to all this stuff, I was like, this is not sitting right with me. So that was my little journey.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you have it. I went to a Catholic school. Mm-hmm. Look at me now, Ma. No. And I did the whole, I wanted, because we were forced to do religious education and, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
I had it in me instant kind of rebel against being taught that. Do you know what I mean? So like, I was like, yeah, it's not even real. Like, just that annoying human.
Yes.
So I kind of just, mine stopped quite early. Like, as in, like, I have a certain spiritual belief, I would think. But I'm very science-based now, and I'm very, you know.
Right.
But I think the two have a place in the world.
I agree with you. I think
So-
I had to go so far the other way to come back to a balance.
Yeah. Because I look at things like when my grandparents were dying, do you know what I mean? And they, like, whatever gave them comfort at that moment, having the last rites and everything like that. To me, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
There's value in that for
Do you
sure.
know what I mean? There's like, and I do enjoy the whole community aspect, I don't know, like looking after community members and that kind of stuff. What I don't enjoy is good old, things like George and We won't go there too much, but you get my gist.
Oh, I understand.
So
it's interesting, isn't it? And
thanks for having me on your religious podcast.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes. Yes, it's an interesting thing. There was definitely a time in my life, and I don't know about whether this resonates with you or not, Nona, but I would be very put off by somebody who wasn't religious, and then I went through a stage where I'd be very put off by somebody that was.
Yeah, so I don't like extremes.
Yes.
In any form, like when someone's just being nasty about religion just for the hell of it.
For being a fuckhead, yeah.
Like trying to be edgy, edgelord, and being like, no, it's just construction of like, I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, why don't you go overseas, put a backpack on and travel a bit?
Yeah, see the world. Go see some other perspectives. Go learn some things.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I get that. I don't know what I'm trying to say anymore.
And that's okay.
Maybe I need the backpack.
Yeah, look, I think the backpack is helpful for all of us at some stage in our life. So speaking of going and exploring the world,
yes.
Let's explore your love life. Let's start at crushes, right? So crushes can be celebrities, or crushes can be like your first crush. Like I've had some people remember their crushes from kindergarten.
Yeah, wow, okay.
Which I think is super early, no judgment, but I just can't remember.
I don't think my first crush. I definitely remember all my crushes from primary school.
All of them? Every single one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I have like weird elephant memory. It's really annoying.
Why is it annoying? That's such a gift.
Because I just there's things you want to forget, but you're like,
sure.
Oh, okay, we'll just revisit that.
We're doing that, are we? Okay,
like we're there.
Yeah, that's not pleasant.
My first ever celebrity crush was when I was like a kid, primary school, if not younger. And just have a guess who it was.
Boy band?
Nah, I'll just tell you.
You're like, have a guess. No, you guess shit. I'm just going to tell you.
I was like, wait, it's too far back, man. Fuck, now I can't even remember his name.
Oh, this is real good. Can you describe him?
Okay.
Are you going to Google him?
I just remembered. I was watching Indiana Jones.
Oh, hello.
Harrison Ford. 100%
wow.
obsessed.
You could have given me clues for that one. I would have guessed
I know.
it,
I should have said it involved a hat and a whip.
Oh, that was Saturday night. That's what I would have gone with.
My childhood was lit.
Okay, so what was it about him that made you go, ooh?
I don't know, like, because he's like quite a man. You know how usually your crushes start off with like, I don't know, a teenage boy or like a boy that still looks like
yeah, Jonathan Thomas Taylor.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
like pretty boy. Your
yeah.
crushes always start off with pretty boys.
Yes.
Nah, I went straight to the man.
Do you know what? We have that in common too. Not him in particular, but with boy bands, and I think I've mentioned this before in a previous episode, but with boy bands, I always chose to like the eldest one in the band because he was a man.
You chose?
I chose. I was like, right, who's the eldest? That one? Yeah, fucking love him. I don't know why. I don't know what that says about me, but the man has always been a thing.
And I know some people are listening going, daddy issues.
I've got a really good relationship with my dad, so it's not. Trust me, it's
but
not.
I reckon, I don't know. Freud would be having a field day with me.
I think you and me both. I think you and me both, really.
But anyway, he was my first kind of like, wait a second, something's happening inside.
Oh.
Why am I noticing that man with the whip and the hat?
Oh, maybe it was the whip and the hat.
And then it went on to, okay, so I had, my first kiss was on the cheek, right, in primary school.
Oh, we're counting cheek kisses. Okay.
Well, here, let me explain it to you. And I had a threesome when I was in primary school. Don't stress, just listen.
Okay.
So his name was Nathan, and me and this girl kissed him on the cheek at the same time.
That's a really good story. I love that.
Right.
I loved that lead in and then the story. Yep, very good. Well done.
But do you know what? I felt so sick and guilty after. I thought I'd done the worst thing ever.
Oh, Blossom.
How weird is that? Like, I felt guilt at that time already.
Oh, patriarchy. That's all I can say.
The answer to everything in our generation at the moment.
It is,
I had
isn't
no
it?
fucking pickles in my burger. Fuck the patriarchy. If there was a woman making my burger, she
That
would have
wouldn't
fucking...
happen.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I'm crying right now. That's so funny.
But
oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
So that was my... and I remember I was like, I'm never kissing anyone again. Like, I felt really
honey.
weird. Yeah. And then I went on to a boy called David, and he was Polish, and I was like... You know, my ethnic background, Romanian, Hungarian. Mm-hmm. He was a refugee. We were refugees. I was like, oh, my God. Like,
We're going to make a refugee love together.
we're going to make refugee babies. Like,
We're going to populate the world with refugees.
but then all it was like me just like looking at him from around the corner and running away.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
How old were you then?
Year 2.
That's real cute. I love you, but I'm going to run away.
Ew, you can't
cute.
tell anyone you like them.
That is so gross. Can you remember your most significant training wheel teenage relationship?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, tell me about that.
Yeah. Like it was the proper kind of relationship, but like you say, training wheel in
Yeah.
comparison to what comes after.
Correct.
I was 15. He was 18. Mm-hmm. I think I was 19. Weirdly, I recently found out he was a lot older than me than what I remembered.
And that's okay.
Like, I was like, oh, I don't remember that. Anyway, what do you call it? We met at the drive-in.
Oh, the best.
Right?
The best.
This is like an American song, you know, that little ditty about Jack and Diane.
We need a guitar. Where is it?
2 Salisbury kids.
Yeah, hot. Fucking drive in, Salisbury kids, get it
It was
on.
a balmy summer night, you know.
Oh,
That was a beautiful movie playing. Fuck knows what it was. Anyway, there was, you know, the whole, like, you piled into 2 different cars. There's different groups walking around. I went to go to get a snack from the snack bar. If you know
Correct.
me, that's 100% what I would have done.
snacks are the best.
Right? And he was like, oh, I think I might join you. This is the voice I'm giving you.
Oh, great.
And then when we were, like, walking back, he just, like, held my hand.
Oh.
And then that was it for 2.5 years. Like, I belonged to him. I was like, oh, my God.
That's real sweet.
Yeah. So that was my first... My parents were like, thought that it was going to go away, and then they were terrified that at one point I was going to get married like really young. And they were like,
really?
Yeah, and in the end they were like, not a big fan of him.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. And
Was that warranted?
my mum and dad pretty good at reading people.
Sure.
Now I see it, but at the time, you know.
Of course not.
Yeah. My dad, ethnic, would do things like he would come over and he just threw a pair of overalls at the dude and he's like, put this on and come with me.
Oh, mamma mia.
And so he did, and he's like, open up this hatch to a, what do you call it? A rainwater tank.
Sure.
And he was like, get in there and clean it.
Holy shit. That is tough.
And he did it, bless him. But, yeah, so that was that relationship.
Wowee.
But he ended up cheating on me. And that was my first also big heartbreak.
Yeah.
Like, you know where you're like, yeah, actually, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm never going to feel this again.
Oh, honey.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you get out of what did you do to help you through that heartbreak?
Well, I turned 18 and I started going out and drinking.
I love the way you just said that just then. Very matter of fact.
It's called substance
Yes.
abuse. No. Anyway, I just turned 18. I was finally going out, and then I was like, it's a whole new world kind of thing. I was like, oh my God, there's so much more dick around than what I thought.
All the dick.
Because when you're in high school, you only,
You only know a certain amount of dick.
yes. And
Because
then
you've only got a certain pool.
you go out there and you're like, holy shit. They're still average, but, you know.
Yeah, look, dicks are interesting.
Do you ever feel like this is how I know I'm 100% straight and it annoys me? Because...
That phrase, yes, keep going, Nona.
I just like, okay, like, and I'm sorry if my mum listens to this, but I just like, sometimes I crave dick. Like you just want a pounding.
Yeah, look, I know when I'm into somebody when that's a thought that crosses my mind too.
I'm not even going to say I'm not even going to say like edit this because it is what it is.
Hey, we're women in our mid-30s. We're allowed to talk about our sexuality. It's okay. It's okay. If anyone has a problem with it, you know you're allowed to stop listening. It is a choice.
Yeah.
It is a choice. Not that I'm encouraging
Unlike
you to stop listening.
Unlike my dick needs. No. Could you imagine? See, I do find this fascinating and I think you might as well.
Yes.
If the roles were reversed and men were talking about pussy like that,
The vulva, yep.
Wouldn't we be a bit like disgusted almost in a weird way? Like I personally wouldn't, but you just know.
Yeah, look, I think...
You know that whole like it's quite an interesting time to be alive.
It is an interesting time to be alive because I feel like we have more of a... I think we are trying to balance what has come before.
Interesting point.
In that, you know, usually in the past, pussy, fucking, all that shit was like part of... And that conversation was out in the open often.
Yeah.
Whereas women were not necessarily...
Because amongst women, girls talk more, I reckon, to each other about like the nitty gritty than dudes to some degree.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's always more private. So it's just in your friend.
Yes,
like,
yes.
You know?
Yeah.
You wouldn't come on to a public forum.
No, I'd be like,
Yo!
dick. Yes. Like we are right now. Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting point that you make. And I wonder... And I'm sure...
Like, I don't know what's right or wrong, honestly. And I feel like
don't either.
no one does. We're just going through life going, okay, that upset someone. I won't do that anymore.
I think because you and I are actually talking about our own sexual experiences or like what we think, because we're not necessarily talking about the general population of penises.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I went out there and there was...
There was lots of dick. Look, I think you get to a point, I don't know about you, but I feel like you get to a point, we've all got body parts.
I know. And they're beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. And when you find somebody that is a dick-carrying member of society...
Yes.
and you value them... It's different.
It really... this is an interesting point you make, and I just remembered. So, usually, like, penises aren't that, like, pretty to me, but when it's mine, I'm like, that's a pretty penis, and I like it, and I want to spend time with you.
I concur.
Do you know what I mean?
Concur.
It's
Yes,
the weirdest thing.
I do. There has to be something biological there with that.
It's like a weird... almost like a caveman-y type.
Yes, I agree.
Connection.
It must be something like that because I totally agree with you. And I think, yeah, look, I cannot dispute that fact at all because it's exactly how I feel.
I wonder, do they feel the same way? Like, are they like, once they kind of see like, you know, a vagina
Once that's mine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Should we do a survey?
We should do an Instagram poll because they are official.
Yes, that is scientific data that we will collate and get back to you about. Literally, I feel like we need to ask. Well, we can ask. We've got some people that we can ask.
Yeah, okay.
Should we take our headphones off and ask?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Do it. He's thinking.
Thank you, Andy.
Questions I get asked in this office is honestly crazy.
Just sitting there
Happy to
thinking.
contribute.
Thank you. So we just took a little time there to ask the men in our close proximity, or one man in particular, if he feels the same way about the vulva as we do about the penis.
Yeah, and it was very similar.
It was actually really lovely. I really appreciated that candidness.
Yeah, I love it. Love a good candid.
So what did we
Not
find
candida.
out?
Like candid, not candid.
Yeah, that's not ideal. So what did we find out, Nona?
Oh, man, I'm so bad at relaying stuff. I was like hoping you'd take the wheel.
Yeah, sorry. So
Basically very similar.
Yes.
But yeah, that once you're in a relationship with someone, you definitely find certain aspects of them that's, attractive because there is that connection now.
emotional connection.
Yeah.
Whereas, like said male mentioned to us way back in the day when strip clubs were visited, it was more like business.
Yeah.
I liked that analogy.
Yeah, it was. It was a good analogy.
Yeah, it was really good. There wasn't an emotional connection. It was,
How did you go throughout your years on this earth?
Yes.
So for me, I've always tried to pretend I was that girl that was like, I don't care, I can be a player, but really I'm just not.
Yeah.
And I've yeah, I fucking know where this is going. Where I felt like because I've seen boys being doing the whole player thing, it means nothing, sex is sex, and I've tried that and it's just not for me anyway, and I've always felt like I've needed some form of connection before going for it.
Yes.
So usually it's humour. If all the funny boys out there are like, fucking in.
Oh, it's so funny.
But it does work, sorry, but...
Yeah, it does. It does. Make me laugh and I'm yours.
Yeah. But there is so I've always needed a bit of a connection before going for it. Very similar or different?
Oh, exactly the same.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes I have felt external pressure twofold to the casual sex thing. Mm-hmm. And when I've tried it, it just makes me feel shit after and really confused. And the whole fuck buddy situation I'm not good at because I get attached.
Yeah, so
I can't do it.
I don't know where I read this, and can someone fact check me?
Okay, I'm getting ready with Google.
Is apparently when you have sex as a woman, some chemical is released,
Right.
and you feel more connected to the person or something.
Right.
And I can see that 100% in me.
Yes.
So even with my partner, if we haven't had sex for a while, not that I'm I don't love you anymore.
I don't love you. You haven't given me your penis. We are no longer together.
But I definitely after being intimate, the next day I'm I'm so in love again. It's just
It's a different connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I definitely feel that.
Yeah, look, I would agree. I feel like on the same page with that. I think I've chosen... I got to a point where I was like, I don't... Because I was single for such a long time.
Yeah, okay.
And sometimes it was just I'm not even getting hugs. There's no... It's not good
so
for
everything,
your...
all the good stuff that comes along with a sexual relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so sometimes I folded, but then I'd be like, why did I do? I know this is not something that I feel shit. It's like having McDonald's. Yum, but after.
the next couple of hours.
Yeah.
Sitting there trying to breathe.
Yes, it's not great. So I made a decision. I was like, nah, I actually don't want to do that because I feel like I'm letting a piece of my soul go with me when that happens. So I just went, nah, the next person that I let into my life in general is going to be my person. Like I can't do.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can't do it.
Yeah, that's a nice thing to be aware of and feel more in control about, I suppose, rather than doing the thing and then feeling shit after. But and look, I don't doubt for a sec that there are women that can genuinely.
Yeah,
do you know
100%.
what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But I've always tried to be that person, and then I'm just like, nah, can't do it.
Can't do it. Sorry, guys.
I love a good connection. And do you know what I love? Oh, you know what drives me crazy is when I'm at the start of a relationship and they start to do things like the claim out in public. So like a hand on the back of the neck or something, like just a quick touch, like, and you're like, I
touch
am
me again.
So theirs. Did everyone see that? I am his. Like, I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
It's so cool.
It's so lovely.
And I don't think men even realise that it's those like little things.
Yes. The little things actually end up being the big things.
Yeah,
very much.
And
very much.
My favourite thing is like when you catch a dude in the morning when they're just like completely off guard and snuggly, and it's like their true self. Do you mean they're not?
That is my favourite.
Yes, because you're just like, you little teddy bear.
That is my favourite.
It's like a completely different human being to them in front of their friends. And it's like special because it's just
real
like
nice.
Yeah.
It is actual real nice. I'm just, my mind's going elsewhere right now, so I just need a moment. There is nothing like the feeling of being the little spoon.
Oh, little spoon.
With the right person.
Yeah.
If there's nothing there, get the fuck off me.
It feels sick. It feels like a weird uncle touching you, doesn't it?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
How funny. Yes, that's so funny. When you have a connection with someone and all the little touches and everything like that are amazing, but when it's not that person, when it's not the right one for you,
you're just like... We both just like had a shiver. Yeah.
How interesting. The shiver I found a lot in my early, like, I would say late teens, early 20s.
Oh, no.
Like, just obviously, like, meeting different guys and everything, and you're learning about your own boundaries and everything like that, and you're just like, I got the shiver. And for ages I was always like, I described it as like a touch from an uncle.
Yeah, that's so gross. Like it's real gross.
It's just like a yucky...
Yeah. I actually nearly threw up in my mouth just then,
But I don't even mean it like...
Like, uncles are fine, but we're talking about a specific type of sleazy vibe here.
Yes, and it's not like, I'm not talking that, like, the full depth of, like, I'm just like, you just know that feeling. When,
yeah, you do.
When someone's like, what?
Why are you touching me?
Why?
Why? Don't do it.
Yeah.
It is so interesting, though. It could be the exact same touch to the same part of your body, but if it's the wrong person...
Yeah.
It's like, oh, shit.
What have you done?
Yeah. Get me out of this situation now. Yes, that is so interesting. And I wonder what it is chemically in our bodies that makes that happen.
Yeah, I agree. I know what you mean.
Because... there is such a drastic difference of those two feelings. Like we were talking about before, the snuggles in the morning, and we're literally just talking about snuggles here.
Yeah.
The snuggles in the morning, 2 arms around you, like when it's the right person, it feels safe. It feels glorious. It feels like a sparkly unicorn on a rainbow when it's the right person. Really? It does. It does. But somebody will just have to put their hand on your arm or try and hold your hand and it's the wrong person and your whole body goes, what the fuck?
It's fascinating.
I wonder what chemical that is. I don't know how to Google that.
Do we have any scienticians listening?
Don't know. If you're a scientist, at me, at the Cashlerette Pod on Instagram. Tell me all the science. Actually, Ben Knight loves science. He was a previous guest. He's a comedian, an actor. I might hit him up, actually, and ask him what chemical is it that makes this go, yay, oh, fuck off.
There would be one, surely.
Yeah, there have to be because it's such a visceral response in the body. There has to be. There has to be. My beautiful one.
Yes.
Do you have any parting words of wisdom for the listener in regards to love, dating, relationships, self-love, even anything along those lines?
Oh, I hate giving out advice.
Great.
Of any kind.
I'm happy you're making that clear. Well, it doesn't have to be advice.
No, I think oh God. I think what I've come to learn.
As you make a heart shape on the table. That's so cute. Literally, Nona has made a heart shape on the tablecloth, on the table, as she's saying this, and she's looking like beautifully into the heart. It's really lovely.
I don't know. Just listen to yourself because I think the older you get, the more your gut is correct. And I'm definitely, learning to go ahead with that. Like,
it's hard to follow through sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. And compared to, I always, had gut feelings when I was younger, but I was like, nah, that makes no sense. Or, I just wasn't listening. But just listen to yourself and I think the rest will follow.
Excellent. I love that. That was really lovely.
Yeah.
That was really good. I totally agree. I concur fully. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. It's been the best.
The Cashlerette with friends near and far, from heartache to catfish and sex toys. The Cashlerette and friends. See you next time if you dare.
Bank of the West is offering the 1% for the Planet checking account. It gives back to the planet at no cost to you, and there's no monthly service charge with any deposit per statement. Only from Bank of the West. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.